The wealth gap, a solution. Let's define what it is. In general, it is the accumulation of hard assets such as real estate and financial assets such as cash, stocks, and bonds. Wealth, it's the difference between those assets and debt or liabilities. It provides a critical safety net to people. It is passed from one generation to the next generation, helping the next generation accumulate more wealth. The gap between black and white is artificially wide. It is currently 8-1. Why? Because of slavery, black codes, Jim Crow segregation, and 400 years and counting of racism. White supremacy has held back black people from the true starting line for centuries. It's the truth. That is the reason why we have these gaps. At the end of slavery, black people were promised 40 acres and a mule. Instead, they received clothes they had on their back and the shoes they had on their feet, and were told they were free to go. Offensive? Yes. Inappropriate? Yes. Wrong? Yes. Reconstruction, right after the Civil War, did not work. Why? Because the Southern segregationists, in collaboration with the North, stopped it. Never fully followed through on the promises that were made. That is the truth and the real history. This generation, starting now, will pick up where they left off. We will begin a new Reconstruction period and follow it through to the end and not stop until it is completed. Why? Because it matters. It matters to all the black and brown people that have endured racism pre and post the Civil War. It is a moral imperative, and together, black and white, we will implement this new Reconstruction, starting now. What we need to do. We will raise $100 billion to start. Phase 1, we will do it through the private sector, corporations and private citizens. Phase 2 will be at the federal, state, and local governments level. They will be involved. We will discuss Phase 2 in another video. Phase 1, we will first start with the private sector. It's the least political and easier to tackle. It will be an example and model for governments to follow. Did you know that black people have tremendous economic power? Over $1 trillion per year, trillion with a T. That is $1,000 billion. Black people are lions, not sheep. Realize that. They are a powerful economic segment in society. We will utilize that power and leverage it to help black people. The majority of white people make up over $13 trillion in buying power. The money is out there if we have the will to use it, and we do. GDP in the U.S., gross domestic product, is over $20 trillion per year. Trust me, we can find $100 billion. We spend over $50 billion on helping others overseas. We do this every single year. As I mentioned, we will address government involvement in another video when we discuss new Reconstruction and the role they will play. We are going to create a black venture fund to be used to invest in black people. Every corporation and business in America will be asked to contribute voluntarily. The goal is to fund the BVF with $100 billion. Trust me, corporations and other businesses will contribute. Myself and our team at White Response Project will work with the thousands of companies in the U.S. and those that do business in the U.S. to contribute to the Black Venture Fund. More specifics on the BVF to come in a separate video. Know this, the assets in the fund will be used to help Black people own their own home. The greatest asset is generational wealth in home ownership. Redlining and government-sponsored de jure segregation caused home ownership for Blacks to be almost non-existent. We will remedy this injustice. In addition, the fund will help Black people build the foundation for wealth. That is a quality education and a strong income with quality jobs and business ownership. The income gap. We will work with these same corporations to drive hiring of Black and brown senior leadership within their ranks. In addition, drive more jobs to more Black and brown people in the rank and file positions and middle management level positions, setting the stage for future growth and building the foundation. We will do all of this in partnership with the private sector. In subsequent videos, we will get more granular and specific. For now, know this, an injustice has happened in history to Black people by white people. What is important now is that the descendants of white people that are around today rally together with our Black brothers and sisters, joining forces, for there is power in numbers, to build a better future for all of us together. I'm going to close with this. I understand to some this endeavor may seem like an impossible task. But remember this, the impossible is God's opportunity. Remember, we are all lions, not sheep. Our victory is within reach. Never, ever give up. Let's roll.